Hi everyone. Today in this video, I'm going to describe about um, Leo Tolstoy's "How Much Land Does a Man Need?" So, apart from this story, we will also first look at quick facts about the author, Leo Tolstoy, who is known as the father of or the Shakespeare of Russian literature. So he is a Russian novelist, a short story writer, playwright, and an essayist, and considered as a master of realistic fiction, world's greatest novelist. And coming to the literary movement, he belonged to to the literary movement called realism, where in the 19th century, the writers they started focusing on realism, on the real aspects, the real transition that occurred in the society, where they emphasize on mundane daily lives, everyday experience, as they focus on the middle class and also working class people. And why Leo Tolstoy is considered as the greatest writer? So many critics they have come up that he is one of the greatest writers who ever lived, but a living symbol of the search for meaning because of his immense contribution to Russian literature, not only just Russian literature, but the world literature as a whole. The kind of philosophical thought, the depth of knowledge that he contribute through his writings, maybe probably for all this his beliefs and also bringing in the complex situation scenario through his writing, maybe that could be reason why he is considered as a kind of living art, not just a writer or an artist, but as a living symbol of the search for meaning. And coming to his beliefs as a writer, his belief life is too complex and disordered. So, what does he want? Looking at the society, according to Tolstoy, his ideology, his approach to life is it's not that he feels that life is too complicated, too complex, too much of chaos and um, disorder, and he was praised as a for which again he was praised as pieces of life, not pieces of art, which is said by Matthew Arnold, because of the kind of knowledge, the philosophical thoughts that he dealt with. Coming to the background setting of the story, how much land does a man need? So the setting of the time is 1886, where he reflects on the social and economic conditions of the time in rural Russia. And the place setting of the place is agrarian lifestyle of the 19th century Russia. And coming to the character, he emphasized focused on peasant Pahom and who struggles daily as a peasant and what are his atrocities and also the kind of mental physical agony that he has undergone as a poor peasant. And also, there is again, in contrary to this peasant, the land ownership, there is again the notion of economic disparity. We call it social inequality. So, again, the representation of the Bashkirs, or a nomadic group where they trick Pahom in the story, and the tone of the story of how much land does a man need, it's a suspenseful and also calm in tone, and here calm in the sense through this calm thought like daily lives, how they led Pahom to his own death, risking his land property family and also risking his life himself. This is a plot diagram, a rough plot diagram of the story, or the falling action, rising action, inciting incident, and resolution denouement, what happened towards the end. So let's look at a few insights to the story. So here, the story from the beginning till the end, it dealt with allegory, where greed begets only more greed. What does greed brings? It brings only temptation and more greed. And also the significance, you have to look at the significance of Pahom's dream here, where the narrator uses the foreshadow technique of what is to come next. And here Pahom's unwise choices again versus the boundary set in life and his inner conflict. In the beginning, the story begins with a sister conversation where Pahom sat silently and listened to their conversation. And again, devil, the Bashkirs who act as a devil. So you have to look at this aspect as well. There is also an element of irony in this story. So here the irony is peasants are not as greedy as tradesmen, which is said by Pahom's wife in compared to the urban people who lives in urban areas. According to those sisters, especially Pahom's wife, that peasants are not as greedy as tradesmen. So here there is again comes the ironical tone because it is just the opposite in the story. And hence the conflict. Pahom's greed for land drives away his family, not only just his family, but his wealth. And then at the end, what happened in the story? So keep in mind all these insights as you read the story and looking at the themes, the major themes. First of all, of course, the recurring prominent theme is the corrupting nature of greed and susceptibility to temptation. How we human as individuals, how we the humans tendency to greed or to want more and more, and the unchecked ambition which all of us have, but then sometimes it goes unchecked. And in that scenario, how do we look at life? So when you look the story at a deeper level, there are layers and layers of meaning that we can learn so much from the story. And again, man's grasping rapaciousness leads to his downfall, and clearly it is showcased in Pahom's character in the story. And the next one is moral implications of the pursuit of material wealth in the context of rural Russian life. And parable with universal relevance, timeless aspect of human nature and societal values. So, what is your takeaway from the story? Don't let greed control you. This is just one point, my takeaway from this story. You can also add your own takeaway. And the next one is questions to ponder as you read the story and as you look at the themes of the story. So, a few questions here to for you to ponder is on what parameter can we consider a happy man or happy life? Was Pahom in the story a happy man? And if not, why was he not a happy man? And if yes, you can bring your own argument from the text. And the third question is can you justify the aptness of the title? How much land does a man need? And when you justify the title, you have to go to the last line of the story where it is clearly mentioned how much land does a man need, which is only 6 feet from his head to his toe. And the last question that I would like to put forth is why did Tolstoy bring in Pahom as the main protagonist in the story? So when you look at the last question again, go back to the background setting and also the style of Russians, choice of character, where he emphasized on the middle class, the working class, the poor people. Thank you.